In this video we're just going to go over the good and the bad of the Yoast WordPress SEO plugin. Now this plugin is basically for SEO purposes to optimize your site titles and tags, your metadata. It does things like creating an XML sitemap. It will also set up some of the options for Open Graph, which is the protocol that Facebook uses to decide what images and title tags it displays in previews of things that are shared on Facebook. And then it's also got some options for RSS feeds and to import and export the settings. And it has an option here to actually directly edit your htaccess file as well. So it's a really complete plugin. And that's actually one of the really good things about it, is that it's very flexible and it has a complete set of options. And just so with this, just one plugin can cover most of your SEO needs. But if you aren't using all of the options, you may want to look for a little bit lighter weight plugin, because the larger a plugin is, the heavier it is on your WordPress site and the more memory and that sort of thing that it takes to run. From a perspective of the new website owners, if you're really new, then this plugin may make you feel a little bit overwhelmed just because it has so many different options. So it's really kind of geared more towards the experienced user. So let's just go through some of the options that you've got here. I'm going to just run through them really briefly. Here you've got the titles and meta tags screen, and you can see you've got an option to rewrite the titles of your posts already. And then it's got some site-wide settings, so you can determine whether you can no index the archive pages. And you do that sometimes because it's duplicate content. There's also an option to use the meta keywords tag. Now here's something that I hadn't seen before in this plugin, and that is clean up the head section. There's a variety of extra links that WordPress puts into your header of your web pages, and so you can hide any number of those if you want to. If you want to hide the RSS links so that it's not announcing that you have an RSS feed, or if you want to have it hide the short links for posts. Now this screen is probably the most complicated one. It's the titles and metas, because you notice that we've also got some tabs here. And this one thing that I really liked about this plugin is that you have an option to make a template for the different types of posts and the different pages. Like the home page should probably be treated different than an individual post, and so you have an option to make a template for the title and the meta descriptions. You can even put in some of your author metadata. So I don't know if you know what authorship is, but authorship is something that Google has come up with in the last couple of years that allows you to actually link all your different sites and posts together. And so the more stuff that you author, the more authority you have. And so by allowing you to set this up right here, you can set which user on the blog will have the authorship attributed to them. You can also put in a business page URL, which is something that I hadn't seen before. And of course, Google really loves it when you use anything of theirs because they're trying to corner the market. So this is something you can take advantage of. It's also got post type templates. You can see you can set them separately for posts and pages. And for the media, you can also set it separately for what they call taxonomies, but that really just means different kinds of archives. And then you've got the author archives, the date archives, and special pages that you can also set separate options for. So you're really not boxed into one kind of setting for the different kinds of pages, which is something that a lot of the other SEO plugins that I've seen do. And then let's just go into the social settings, and here is where you would set the Facebook Open Graph, and you can set your image URLs for the image that should be shared on Facebook along with your post from the front page. And then you can also add some Twitter meta card data. And like I said, this is a lot of stuff that if you've been around in the web for a while, you probably already knows what this means. But if you're a newer user, you might have to do some research, and so it might feel just a little bit overwhelming. Now, another really great thing that will help Google really find all your content and index it properly is to have an XML sitemap. This plugin will actually create an XML sitemap automatically, and then you can also have it ping Yahoo and some of the other search engines. And you can tell it to exclude, for instance, media. You don't necessarily want all your pages of just your images or image attachments in your sitemap because they aren't really intended to be viewed separately. And in order to keep the sitemap small, you also have the option of doing entries per page, so you can keep it to just 1,000 pages per sitemap. What it does here is that it makes little miniature sitemaps and kind of links them all together so that Google can find them all, but because they're kept in smaller packages, it's a lot easier for the plugin to just update just the piece that it needs to when you make a new post. Now, internal links is another way of sort of like siloing your content and cross-linking the very most related content to each other, and that too will help you rank better in Google search and other search engines because they can tell that there's a cluster of very related content. But of course, if you want those, you are going to have to go and put this function in your theme, which is a little bit more advanced topic because you actually have to get into the code. Now, another option that it's got in here is to control some of the links and the content in your RSS feed. And your RSS feed a lot of times will be syndicated by somebody else. They're called content scrapers. And what they'll do is they'll come and get your content and they'll republish it, which is usually okay with an RSS feed. But sometimes if they're very aggressive, they can get better rankings for your content than you get for your content. And so what this allows you to do is to put links back to your blog and some authorship information so that the search engine will know who that content really belongs to, so that you'll have a lot better chance of getting the good rankings instead of the content scraper getting the rankings for resyndicating your content. Now, you can see just how many options there are and how complicated the plugin can be, and so it's really nice that he's included this import and export. And basically what you can do is you can import data. If you were working with another plugin and you want to switch, he makes it really easy. So you can import from any of these other plugins or frameworks. And then of course you can export your settings, which means that if you have a whole lot of blogs, you can actually set up one blog the way you want it and then just export the settings and then import the settings from that file into all your different blogs, so it makes it a lot quicker to set up multiple blogs this way. And there's just really one more section that I wanted to show you, and that is if you go into add a new post, there are some options underneath the post here. You can see we've got a WordPress SEO by Yoast section here, and it will show you a snippet preview of what your entry will look like in the search engines, the way things are set up now. And you can select a keyword that you're trying to rank for, which would be the main keyword, and it will help you find related keywords. It can also set up the SEO title. You can kind of overwrite it, or you can have it generate one itself, which is a little bit faster. And it says if the meta description is empty, then it will just use the template that you've used. So you can have it do a little bit of automatic stuff if you don't really want to write one yourself. Now, it's also got a page analysis module, which is something that it will analyze for your keywords and the related keywords as you're actually making your post, so you know what your keyword density is and things like that. The one thing that I thought was really kind of a little bit bad about the page analysis is that because it is constantly reading what you're typing, it tends to lead to a little bit of typing lag. At least it did for me. So you can see that it's really a very complete plugin. And like I said, the completeness is both good and bad. On the one hand, you can have a very flexible and complete set of options in just one plugin, but it is a little bit overwhelming for newer website owners. So it does really kind of increase the amount of time that it takes you to make a post if you're really trying to optimize for things really hard and fill in all the different options. So that's it for this review, and I will talk to you again soon.